Hi, everybody. My name is Alan. On behalf of the crew, I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Bridging Heaven and Earth. You know, it's just really something to be on this planet at this time and to see the potential for us as a human species to see and feel and experience what potential, what actuality, what a realization of our true connection, of our true experience of the oneness can mean on this planet. That I was just sitting here, waiting for the show to start. And the thing that was coming to me is, as my brothers and sisters, as everyone on this planet is, how can we go on with that not being the reality, without us as a species not recognizing that we're all brothers and sisters here, that we're all brothers and sisters of the plants and the mountains and the dolphins and the whales and the ants and the cows and the cats and the dogs. How can we not realize that experience of the oneness? How can we go on and not experience that unconditional love for one more day or one more moment or one more anything? How can we continue to go on? Are we living the lives? Are we experiencing the greatness, the vastness of what it is to be a human being? And at this point, up until this moment, the answer has to a large extent been no. That we've been fighting and separating and dividing and conquering and greed and fear and just so much disharmony, so much separation, which is leading to so much craziness and so much fear. And we all know in our heart of hearts, that we are brothers and sisters, that we have come to this planet to come into a recognition of that. And that nothing short of that recognition of that experience is enough for this glorious human life. And for us to go on for another moment without having that recognition is just, that is the one sin on this planet. To live and not recognize that the Father and I are one, that the Goddess and I are one, that we're here as actualities of that one essence, of that one creator, of that one love. And if we could get a taste of that and get a taste of that again and again and again and again and rub up against that magnet of truth and rub up against that recognition of the unconditional love, every day of our lives will be different. Every breath of our lives on this planet will be different. And that's the time that's coming. That's the time that's here. For us to be in recognition of that true love, of that oneness, of that love that we are. And we're so fortunate to be here now, because so many of the old ways of being and the old things that perpetuate fear are breaking down. They're falling apart. They're appearing so crazy and illogical and stupid and unreasonable that almost, in a sense, we're left with no choice. And that's the glory of it, is that we are being forced into, on one side, to recognize that love. And then the love is becoming so expansive on the other side that it's like a spiral driving us into that experience of God, of truth, of who we really are. And so many people are having that experience, and so many people are having that recognition, that literally, if under the right conditions we could do shows 300 days a year, we would have guests that could triple that. And just so many people from all over the planet are creating and manifesting and experiencing and writing and singing and making art from that experience. And we need to reach for that. We need to hunger for that if we're not having it. And if we are having it, we all know we can have it more. We could be more in love, more in joy, more in an experience of the infinite, more in an experience of our inclusiveness, that there is only one. And again, tonight's guest is dedicated to his life since he was a small child. Those things were real to him, and then not so real, and then realer, and then more real. James Weldon, he's a visionary, he's a health educator, he's an author, a teacher, an inventor. He's written an extraordinary new book, Secret Journey to the Enlightened Mind. He's the founder of an extraordinary retreat center in Echo Village in Colorado, the Santosha Village. And you'll see videos of that, and you'll see videos of James giving Shaktipat energies and Shaktipat healings. And he has come to share his gifts and his love and his understandings and his experience with us again. And people are just having it and wanting to share it and wanting to go out and heal and do workshops and do DVDs and get that energy out. As most of you know as well, we're in the middle of this extraordinary healing, loving, joyous, creative art project, which came as a dream, it came as a vision, to reach out to the world and say, let's together create new, manifest new original pieces based on the theme Bridging Heaven and Earth. No skill level, no age, no size, no format requirements, no deadlines. Just produce a new original piece based on the theme Bridging Heaven and Earth. Get it to us here at Bridging. We'll put it on the shows. We'll do art projects, shows where we only do art. We'll have art gallery openings, and we will get that information out to the world. We will get your vibration out to the world. And we have received so many unbelievable, magical pictures and glass pieces and jewelry and sculptures and collages from all over the world. And tonight we have two extraordinary paintings, one from Finland and one from Germany. And we have text that goes with one of these paintings, which you'll see. And actually, I'll read you one now. This is from the painting, which I think you'll see on the screen at any moment, Maria Vico. It's called See Beyond the Wise Man, and this is from Finland. And one of her friends, associates, companions, Christian, wrote this. They did it together, wrote this about See Beyond the Wise Man. Beyond the beyond, there's one heart, one love. Beyond the beyond, everyone's a dweller of light. As the sun arises every morning and makes everything visible, and when the night comes, the sun sets and everything becomes dark. So it is the play of life. Good becomes bad, bad becomes good, joy turns out to be sorrow, and sorrow turns out to be joy. Friends are enemies, and enemies are friends. Beyond the beyond, there's no separation. Beyond the beyond, there's only one. Like in a play, there are many different characters acting a role. Same as in life, there's a spectrum of different kind of life expressions, from a stone to human, from a human to stars. But where is the key to realize the secret of life? Beyond the beyond, therein an answer lies. Beyond the beyond, within our own heart. Who can point out the way to the truth? The wise men can, but they can't walk the path for us. We must ourselves do the effort. Every day, every hour, again and again. Beyond the beyond, one must look within. Beyond the beyond, one discovers Krishna, Jesus, and Buddha within. Wise men called forth self-expression. We can do the same and heal ourselves. Forgiveness, compassion, and love gives us the key to the oneness of life. Beyond the beyond is here and now. Beyond the beyond is all that is. There's time for action and time for standing still. There's time for making noise and time for silence. All comings and goings shall last for a moment. Still, one may find from the source of all beginnings and ends. Beyond the beyond, that's where we all come from. Beyond the beyond, that's where we all return to. One truth, one love, one life vibrates in an everlasting play. One may say yes to every day in happiness, freedom, and love. The journey is now. Every moment we are blessed with the wise men within. Beyond the beyond is all love. Beyond the beyond is all as one. And that piece, which you're looking at, I'm sure the editors are putting that in, is from Finland, and the pieces are coming from all over the world. If you want to have a beautiful experience, go to Heaven to Earth Art, Heaven, T-O, Earth, ART.com, and go through the gallery and go through the pages of these artists and these people who are not all artists, who are not professional artists, but they have manifested, they have felt to collaborate, they have felt to be creative in this healing and this acupuncture for the planet. And the pieces and the manifestations that they have created are so beautiful and so powerful, and everyone is welcome to join us. No skill level, no age, no size, no deadline, nothing. If you feel moved, call us, email us, and become part of this extraordinary healing project. So now, join me in a short meditation, and then we'll have James' first beautiful video. So join me in a short meditation, please. Thank you. So the first video, again, is by James Weldon, our extraordinary guest tonight. It's Shaktipat, the Shaktipat energy. He'll explain what that is, and you'll see some different healings he does using the Shaktipat energy. So enjoy.
Come to me, I will take away your sorrow. Come to me, I will open your tomorrow. Come to me, I will open up your heart. Come to me, we will never be apart.
Namaste. My name is Dr. Weldon, or Rishi Yogadhi, and I'd like to invite you to listen and hear a little bit more about Shaktipat. Many years ago in my naturopathic practice, I began to experience spontaneous healings. Individuals would come to me, and in the process of being with them, something would happen, something that surprised me and them. A force would come up within my body, sometimes across the room, sometimes with touch, that would result in extraordinary exchanges of energy. For 30 years, this process went on. And it culminated in the experience of a state of oneness which could not be denied, an intensity of love and bliss which transcended anything I'd ever imagined. In the process of speaking about this in my travels around the United States, sharing the book, The Secret Journey to the Enlightened Mind, quite innocently, I started to speak about these experiences. And one day, the Shaktipat, the transmission of this energy, began in a forceful way. The experience of Shaktipat, the transmission of energy, is really phenomenal, in the sense that there's no doing from my part. Literally in that space, this body becomes like a river, and the forces of those energies are incredibly powerful. The flow of that energy is amazing. And what's so interesting, that once the process begins, it continues. It will continue long after I am not there. In fact, over the last few months, over the phone and over the video, through Skype and otherwise, we've been doing this with different groups around the United States. They found that even at a distance, it could happen. Now, many things can happen during the Shaktipat, the transmission of energy. It's an ancient Indian technology which many spiritual teachers, masters have done in that part of the world. A flow of energy can happen through the body. The centers in the body begin to open. One can drop into a deep well of bliss which is unmistakable. Flashes of past events. Great blocks of stress can be released from the body during these few minutes. And so we call these intensives that I hold Shakti-thons. If you're curious about that, you can check on the web. Happiness, laughter, tears, movements of these forces, which we call the awakening of the Kundalini, the life force latent in the physiology, can begin to come up. In our heart, in our essence, we are love and limitless joy. I call that Santosha, the rivers of life force, the rivers of energy. So join with me over the next few minutes several individuals receiving this and observe. And you might find that even through a video like this, you may experience something happen in the body. Namaste.
Come to me, I will take away your sorrow. Come to me, I will open your tomorrow. Come to me, I will open up your heart. Come to me, we will never be apart. Come and you will find the inner one you want to. Find the inner mind you waited so long to. Come and you will find the inner one you want to. Find the inner mind you waited so long to. Come from where you are to. Let your eyes meet mine. For a moment let my heart be mine.
Ravi Shankar, which I met when he was 21 years old.
I will open up your heart. Come to me. We will never be apart.
Let it go. Let it go.
Find the inner mind you waited so long to. Come and you will find the inner one you want to. Find the inner mind you waited so long May love mesmerize your soul. May the divas make you whole. Can you align yourself in constant devotion? Find your liberation. Come to me. I will take away your sorrow. Come to me. I will open your tomorrow. Come to me.
Hi everybody, welcome back. So that was a beautiful video. So the painting you're seeing in between James and I is this beautiful painting that was sent to us from Finland, from Maria Vico, See Beyond the Wise Men. That was that beautiful poem writing from our friend Christian that I read before the video. I mean, it's a magnificent piece. Anybody who wants to be part of the art project is welcome to. It's infinite and inclusive. So welcome, James. So glad to have you here.
Glad to meet you here today.
It's wonderful. So it was interesting. I mean, when I first saw the book, The Secret Journey of the Enlightened Mind, two things kind of struck me. One, and you can go in any order you like, was what is the enlightened mind? How do you define that? And why is it a secret journey?
You know, we all have a past which we don't remember. We know the universe is billions of years old, but isn't it amazing that we appear on this planet all of a sudden at a certain point in time, and in a few years we forget that the universe is billions of years old, and certainly the life that is within us, every cell that's within our body originally came from stars. So it's a fact that this life and energy is ancient, yet we've forgotten that ancient connection, and that's the journey
back to experiencing what that
Why is it a secret journey?
What you don't know is secret. And what is secret is special and held special. So unseen in my case, you know, when I was a little child, I had memories of the past. I didn't know that I was experiencing past lives. And over the many years, the journey back to discovering what that is and living that kind of unity, which could not be denied, is the journey we're all on. And so the purpose of the book was to provide a lot more clarity in terms of what the nature of that journey is and how one can really live this reality.
And the enlightened mind is?
The enlightened mind is a state of existence of freedom and bliss and limited awareness, which is there existent all around us. And it's the same thing as the example of our body. Your body has trillions of lives. You are literally a divine being to all of these trillions of individual cells in your body. And those cells cannot even comprehend the life that you live. You care for them, you take care of them for your entire life until you pass away. On the next level of creation, it's exactly the same. We are literally cells in a divine existence, coming to the realization of that connectedness. And that connectedness takes you to a place which is beyond any suffering and allows you to understand that we have been here, we will be here. And in truth, we are always free. We just need to awaken to that state. That's what the enlightened mind. So just imagine an existence which comprises this entire creation. It's already there. This world, fortunately, is not in the hands of men. It's in the hands of that divine life. And whether it appears so or not, all of the events of our life are ultimately driving us in the direction to experience and live that enlightened consciousness.
And so why don't you take people a little bit through your journey from the secret to it not being such a secret to it being something that was really
that I had to talk about.
Right, that you wrote a book
that I couldn't
about.
say.
Right.
And I had to express in terms of the manifestation of the energy as well, as you've just seen there. You see, when I was a little child, I would hide in dark places. I would climb in the cupboards. Because when I looked at everything seemed so vibrant and alive. And I looked in the mirror and I saw my face as a little boy, but often I saw another face behind that and another face behind that. I didn't know that that was unique or different. And I would be in my bed at night and I would imagine in my mind's eyes going to the beach. And I found that I literally could go down and see these things on the beach. And I would ride down on my bicycle later in the day and see often the things I saw in my mind's eye. And I also, on the other side of that, felt a connection which was sometimes very painful. My father had multiple sclerosis when I was a little child. And I remember him lying in his bed and going through the trauma of that experience. And in the next room, I was sitting there and experiencing that as well, as if it was happening to me. Sometimes I would get up in the morning and I could barely walk as a child because the connection that I felt with him was so profound that this wasn't my father, this was myself that was going through that illness. So as a result of that experience, I went through a lot of turbulence in my life and was fortunate enough in the early part of my life when I was 21 years old to meet 3 incredible enlightened teachers at the same place in Switzerland in 1976. And these individuals have really transformed the world of spirituality. One of them was the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, who recently passed away. And literally he taught meditation to the West, and millions of people took to that. And at the same time,
that was transcendental meditation.
That was transcendental meditation, and the Beatles and Miro Farrow and, and the Flower Power, all of that came out of that inspiration. And the second teacher was of a different nature. He was more of a transmitter of the energy, and this was Swami Muktananda. And he literally would come in and look at people and wiggle a little bit and look at them and touch them, and boom, something would happen within them, and they'd go into these incredible experiences. And the third teacher was a great mystery for me for actually most of my life. He was only 21 years old, and he was sitting in the background, and his name was Ravi. And he is now the founder of one of the greatest spiritual movements in the world and philanthropic organizations called the Art of Living Foundation. As far as I know, I was actually his first student. I met him when he was 21 years old. Sri Ravi Shankar.
And he was a student of the
Maharishi. He was a student of the Maharishi. And at a certain point, what happens when you come into that, They say, okay, go to work, do what you're intended to do, because we all have different roles, we all have different qualities that we are manifesting, things to speak about. And so I was with him for a number of years, and at the end of that incredible journey, 36 years, he said, okay, Yogati, now you can follow the insight of that unity that you have experienced in yourself, that can be a proper guide. And so I'm here to say that this is a time for many people to experiencing that. You feel that something wonderful, something incredible is happening in this world. I'm telling you, we are moving into a place where that unity, that energy, that love is going to be blasting across this planet. And those that are listening to this, I say to you, you are love, and deep in your heart, the source of this creation is beating in your heart, moving your life, and it's time to recognize that reality and care for that in the same way that you would care for your children. How could you do any harm to your children? How could you not love your children? The reality is that every single person, every single animal, every single plant, every single breathing mosquito is part of that great life. And how could we not care for that? We need to recognize that we are living on the mother. We are literally walking on our own source. We need to care for this planet. We need to honor it. We need to honor each other. We need to honor all of these great traditions. But also, most importantly, that this wisdom is not an Eastern wisdom. This is the wisdom of life. This is the wisdom of the beauty and the love that is deep within us. And it's time for us to take responsibility and express our skills, bring to this world the gifts that you've been given, whether it's artwork, whether it's painting, whether it's music, whether it's gifts of grace and energy, whether it's your insight in terms of technologies that can clean up this planet. It's time for us to begin to come up and take responsibility that this is our world and nobody's going to take care of it if we don't take the responsibility to do the best that we can to create a better world. Then it can be a beautiful world. It can be a loving world. Otherwise, we have the choice that we're going to leave, such a big mess for our children. You love your children, so let's move now to make a change and make a change in this world. That's what I think.
Amen.
Amen.
You tell them. That was beautiful.
I'm enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, really.
And, I'm enthusiastic about it because this grace, we are like fish sitting in the ocean looking for the sea. What we are looking for, what we want, is all around us, within us and without us. But it requires a certain amount of work to take care of this mind, to take care of this consciousness, to begin to experience those subtle levels of creation. We've had many examples of this kind of wisdom. Think of Edgar Cayce. Wasn't it amazing that he would go into the state and so much knowledge about health and wellness would come out of that? But I need to ask you a question. How come he had to go to sleep for this experience to occur? The reason is that this enlightened state is not an individual achievement. Listen, not an individual achievement. We are growing together as one being. And literally when the consciousness rises enough, then that state which we have heard about, which we cherish from the East, from India, now can be lived in us. And this is what's happening in the world right now. Now I would say all of our intuitives, we need to do it consciously with eyes open. We can really have that kind of insight into ourselves, into each other, into our lives, into our destiny. This is what the enlightened mind is. And it doesn't happen overnight. But this is kind of like, I would say, the popcorn effect. If you've ever done popcorn, maybe you've never heard of it before, and you put it on, you say, how can it be that this hard kernel can, after a little while, a little bit of heat, burst up into this beautiful white expression? And if you never saw it before, and so you sit there and you shake and you add a little heat, this is what happens in life, right? We go through circumstances, we go through difficulties, a little heat, it breaks us down, it wears us down, it makes us let go of things that we're holding on to on many different levels, illness, disease, catastrophe, loss of money, up and down, all of these things are temporary. And so at the end of that, what happens one day is up it comes. And when you hear that first pop, you go, maybe it's true. Maybe it's true. This was the story of Eckhart Tolle. You know the story of him. In depression, almost suicidal all of his life. Homeless on the street. Lost everything. And he went to bed with such a deep longing for that night. And he woke up in the morning and, oh my God, I'm everywhere. I'm in everything. Rivers of love are flowing through my body. And even after that experience, he sat on that bench almost for 3 years. And as he began to talk, someone came and says, maybe I should write that down. This is what happened with him. The fact that this can happen just like that, don't you see that this is a phenomenon that's happening around the world? We are in the greatest period of spiritual awakening in our history. And I would call it like the spiritual Super Bowl. You know, what happens with the Super Bowl? You know, all the old players, they come and they like to be around that game. This is what's happening in the world. And the world is full of many, many, many great beings here for this special time. You know, I listen to the TV every day and I look at how in the world did we have the opportunity to have somebody like Barack Obama become president of the United States? My goodness. Quite a change, wouldn't you say? You know, regardless of one's political opinion. This man is doing so much good, and he's such a unique character. We get what we deserve. And so what I'm saying, not only have we deserved much better in our society, a healthcare system that takes care of this world. You know, I'm a naturopathic doctor, and I've seen so many people in difficult situations where they could be helped by natural therapies. How? Because that's an indicator that the consciousness is raised to the point that we can really make conscious choices now, and that the world deserves a better, higher life. You know, and I have to say quite simply that higher life is the enlightened consciousness. And so what I've had to share is just how that grows and develops and how you can live that state. You know, at the beginning of the book I say, my life is unimportant. What's an individual life? It's meaningless. But the divine that is living here, that's what's great within each one of us. So that's what we need to recognize. And of course, that's what you're doing, is telling people about that. You know, that we can live that unity. So the story is not only bridging heaven and earth, we want to unite it so that literally the kind of insight, the kind of bliss, the kind of clarity, the kind of wisdom that we know and sense that is there in that great consciousness, we can begin to become perfect expressions of that. That's all I'm interested in doing, you know, is helping people discover that. And, you know, somebody may need to give somebody a little push across the edge. So you saw some of the blessings and some of the sharings that we did on the video. That's all that is. It's not a conscious doing. We are literally rivers of love, and once the obstacles, the deep impressions, are in there and are freed, then this is a spontaneous happening. We can all bless the world. We can all bless our schools. We can all bless our neighbors. You know, and let's begin to bless the world.
That's beautiful. You know, maybe we'll watch the video about Santosha Village now, and also when we come back, we'll talk about Santosha, but we'll also talk about, you know, ways that people can start to be open to that, to let those experiences become more real for them. And also, the next picture you're going to see is an extraordinary piece, as I said, from Germany. And this is Bev Stratton-Promper. It's called Transformation. I'm sure the editors will put it on the screen now as I read this now. This is what Bev talks about for her picture, Transformation. It was sent to us from Germany. The male and the female are joined by the golden spiral. This for me is the bridge between heaven and earth. Through the bridge comes the healing. The spiral vibrates and turns, sending out a golden rainfall, which changes into rainbow colors of total healing. The figures are a healer and one who is being healed. The faces seem to be part of a curtain, and figures seem to be standing on a stage. The power from the spiral is amazingly strong and transforms everything it's near. It's my way of showing the magnificence of the universe, the total oneness that is here and can be attained. So, I mean, really, just like, Jim was saying, it's just happening all over the world. It's happening in different ways. And now we'll see a video of Jim's, the founder of this Santosha village. It's an eco village, a retreat center in Colorado. It's magnificent. And we'll talk about it with Jim when we get back. So enjoy.
Good day and namaste. This is Dr. James Weldon, and I thank you for taking a moment to hear about Santosha Village in the beautiful Rocky Mountains in Estes Park, Colorado. Santosha Village is an 81-acre luxury resort and conference center nestled in the Rocky Mountains, 10 minutes from Estes Park, Colorado. The property includes mountain meadows, deep forest of evergreen, and shimmering mountain lakes. The purpose of Santosha is to create an environment which will manifest the highest possibilities of happiness and contentment. Santosha. Santosha is a Sanskrit word which combines contentment, happiness, completeness. There's an existing luxury resort and conference facility which we're planning to acquire, which will host well-renowned experts offering a wide variety of programs in personal improvement, Ayurveda, yoga, and personal growth, similar to the world-renowned Omega Institute in New York. Amenities at the site include nature and biking trails, community clubhouse, tennis courts, swimming pools and water, lake, open-air, amphitheater, horse riding trails, and more near downhill and cross-country skiing. We'll create a facility for meditation, an Ayurvedic spa, and a wellness center, and a community, a resort and restaurant based upon natural health, and many other amenities. In addition, we're planning to create an additional development on phase 2 of single-family townhouses, condos, based upon the principles of green design, Vastu, and sustainable development with pedestrian-friendly access with lots of green open spaces. Conveniently located in Estes Park, about 90 minutes from Denver and the International Airport. In 1977, I founded my first community for the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, who inspired the Beatles and many individuals to begin meditation. He taught tens of millions of individuals around the world. And I was told to come to Florida to find a facility. Innocently driving around the state when I was 26 years old, and completely by providence, I found myself just 7 hours later in front of a dilapidated 120-room facility complex in an obscure town on a lake just outside Avon Park. Without any previous skill, I purchased this facility for a mere $395,000, which flourished for 30 years until 2005 and was subsequently sold for over $3.5 million. It operated as a yoga retreat center, Ayurvedic spa, and training center for the unknown and unpublished Deepak Chopra, who later became, of course, known as an international expert in this field. Santosha is not just the inspiration of myself. Actually, it's the dream of many thousands of individuals who I've met over the years in my travels around the state and around the world. Sri Ravi Shankar, the founder of the world's largest service organization, the Art of Living Foundation, and whose second organization, the International Association of Human Values, along with the Dalai Lama, is established over 165 countries. Studied with him for over 30 years, was his first student in 1976, as far as I know. His programs have affected literally hundreds of millions of individuals. And he told me in 1994, when I asked about my vision to create Santosha, that yes, Dr. Weldon Yogadhi, someday you will do it. I first came into contact with him when this unknown spiritual teacher was only 21 years old, and the amazing adventure story of those times and my life with 3 of the greatest spiritual teachers of our age is chronicled in my recently released book, The Secret Journey to the Enlightened Mind. It's the symbol of a triumph over spirit and matter. This is what Santosha is. It's living proof that our deepest dreams for a better life, a larger life, a completely fulfilled life, together with those that we care for, even in these times of global conflict, can really be lived. The contentment, the satisfaction, the happiness of Santosha is the total reason for creating this place. Literally, Santosha is an insight into the heart of that truth. And we invite you to come to Santosha and the beautiful eco-village we are creating in Colorado. Come for a day, a week, or much longer, and join us in building a community and a center for inspiration and knowledge in the high, pure atmosphere of the glorious Rocky Mountains, surrounded by the majesty of our streams, valleys, and endless green forests, in creating a more complete, a more fulfilled life for this world. Namaste.
Hi everybody, welcome back. So that was a beautiful video on Santosha Village. So the picture you're seeing in between Jim and I is this incredible called Transformation. That was the little piece I read to you. It's by Bev Stratton-Promper from Germany. Again, part of the Healing Acupuncture Art Project. Please, everyone is welcome to join us. We'd love to have you. Everyone's energy is welcome to be part, to collaborate, to create with us, to heal with us. So Jim, why don't you talk a little about how you came to the village and what your dream of that is in reality and all?
Well, I founded my first center long ago in Florida in a little town called Avon Park for the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And this was where Deepak Chopra got his original start before he was well known in the world, one of the places. And it always had been my vision and sense that we need a place where the kind of clarity, the type of possibilities which you would experience, let's say, going to some of these holy places in India, like Rishikesh, would be lived here, because these are living centers of tremendous power. And so many years ago, over 2 decades ago, we came to Colorado for the purpose of creating something like that. It was in the back of my mind. And working many years as a naturopathic doctor, I always had my eye out for that opportunity. You know, there's a certain point where the consciousness has the ability to manifest its reality. This is one of the qualities of developing consciousness. Literally, the truth, the strength of truth, which is a reality, is so strong inside of oneself that one's words and thoughts have the ability of making themselves fruitful. And this is the power of the enlightened teachers, that their sense of blessing is so strong that out of their compassion, if you meet with them and you say, oh, this is happening, that's happening, and they say things will be better, things are better. Now, it may take time for that to manifest. And so my desire with Santosha is to do that. Now, Santosha is not just a word. It is the vibration of the highest state of joy attainable by a living being. Not only that state of ananda or bliss, but radiant rays of life. And at the time that the last major karma that I had received was broken, and the story is talked about in the book, Secret Journey to the Enlightened Mind. This word came up within me like a flower. I didn't even know what it meant. And these Sanskrit words contain life forces. They're not just random. So when a baby cries out, ga ga, goo goo, gee gee, when these sounds are made, literally these sounds are living representatives of that energy. Okay? So as this began to unfold, the possibility of this facility began to occur. Now, several decades ago, I went to Rishi Yogadhi Pragya and I said, I have my vision to create this place. And he said, yes, someday you will do it. And of course, it would have been so easy for him to do this because his organization is literally 50 million people, 100 million people around the world. But he says, you have a specific task to do. And to bring up this facility, this was my dream. So we found a beautiful place, and gradually, you know, if it's natural, the support will be there. And we have in place to purchase this facility. But we're waiting for the last little bit of grace, which is actually the easiest part, a few founders to come to us and say, okay, I'd like to participate. And what we want to do at Santosha is to bring together the greatest insights on the planet in ecology, in natural health care, in education, fitness, and food, and natural food restaurants. Bring together all of these great individuals around the world, specifically in the West, though, and have them share their talents. And have a community where people can literally live that oneness, can come for a few weekends, a year, let's spend our vacations in a place where we not only have relief, but we can help radiate that energy within ourselves. So Santosha Village is a community for doing that. An eco-community, a wonderful restaurant, there are natural foods, the best in natural health care, okay? And a place where people can live as a community if they want to do that. We brought together great founders of the co-housing movement, some of the greatest restaurateurs and natural foods restaurants from San Francisco, bringing all of these individuals together to live the reality of our dreams. We really can come together as one. And in such a beautiful place, high up in the mountains and Rocky Mountains, where the air is fresh, where the mountains are beautiful, facing the beautiful Twin Sisters mountains like this, we can come into the experience of Santosha. And this great energy can manifest on this planet. Not only do we need to wake up, but the planet needs to wake up as well. This planet is a living being, and the energies that flow around the planet move around the mountain ranges like the spine in the body. There are definite places that you can go to where this energy is awake, and most of them, unfortunately, are in the East. There are great holy places in the West, but not with that kind of radiance, where literally anybody can go and be in that place for a week, and you will definitely experience the enlightened mind. So if we're going to wake up ourselves, we also need to assist in opening the heart of America, opening our hearts, but opening the hearts of this beautiful planet in North America to do the good that we can do. We can feed the people of this world. We can clothe the people of this world. We can take care of the ecology. We can deal with so many healthcare problems, which are basically as a result of poor lifestyle habits and the inability to know how to manage this mind and our emotions. So the intent is to do that there at that facility. And you know, I have no need to have a 60,000 square foot house. This is not an individual achievement. I don't see that at all. I just want to create a place where we can all come together as one heart and one mind with one purpose to bring the gifts that we've all been given. You know, we come into this planet and we're clutching, right? The first thing we do is we come in and we're holding on and we breathe in, and what do? We cry. And then those that are around there that are experiencing that birth, what happens? Joy wells up in their hearts. If we have lived a good life, this life is so short. Should it be that at the end of our life, we breathe out and we're there with open hands, and those that are around us, because of the love that we have expressed, because of the good that you have done, they will now cry in love. And that should be the goal of our lives. To bring something good into this world, to share the gifts that we have, to come together in true oneness. And when we come together in oneness, that enlightened consciousness manifests in that space. I mean, in the Christian tradition, when any three come together in my name, that is, they come together with love, then I am there. When any individuals are united in that consciousness with single purpose, the forces and the powers that flow through them are immeasurable. They can transform the society. You know, I spent some time in terrorist regions. I worked in prisons. I was with individuals who literally had done terrorist acts. Okay? And when you look into them, you find that deep underneath the stress, they're like babies. And some of these individuals that had done these things looked so tough on the outside with, you know, scars and wounds, and they were all built up. They were so big. And then when we begin to instruct them in some of these techniques to free the body of the stress through the breath, something would crack. And I've seen these tough individuals with tears rolling down their faces. And when that trauma is taken out of the body, when that is released, that's the enemy. The enemy is in the mind of man. It's in the stress and the trauma which we have held on to, which we hold on to. We all become beautiful and loving. And literally that space within you is untouchable, beyond all change. And this world, though it seems like a great drama, is the most beautiful adventure imaginable. So when I look back at my life, and I go and see the movies, and I really think of the reality that is going on in everybody's life, your life is greater than anything that has ever been on the stage, in the screen. The truth of who and what you are is beyond imagination. And so I'm saying it's time to live that. It's time to experience it. And it's time to radiate that. And that's what Santosha is, in spirit and purpose and in functionality. So those angels are around.
Yeah, and if you were passionate about it, it probably wouldn't be happening. I'm only kidding. Clearly, you're very
I'm passionate.
I would say
I'm
that was
passionate.
beautiful. I mean, we couldn't be doing Bridgie for all these years if we weren't passionate about all the things we do. So when you were doing it, I was like,
Well,
I mean, I call it, and you know, it's funny. I mean, you know Michael Beckwith from The
I do know
Secret and
Michael
Agape.
very well.
The first question I asked him was, when did you catch fire? And that's true with so many guests here and so many people now, and that's what we're talking about, whether you call it the enlightened mind or, you know, catching fire or, you know, when that just passion just starts.
You know, if I was to describe to you, to give you a sense of what that consciousness is like, imagine the stars in the sky, okay? And you're sitting there and you're meditating, and then one of those stars shows up here. Oh. And then one shows up here, and then one shows up here. These are the subtle channels, the nadis inside. Imagine, remember Alice in Wonderland? Okay, the cat was there. Just imagine your whole body radiating light until there's just nothing left but that smile. Okay, that's literally the possibility for us. And the movement of these energies are natural. They're already moving up the spine. They're moving through the body. And all we need is a little clearing, a little energy. In my experience, there's really three things that one needs to do to live the enlightened mind. It's not so complicated, although the book goes through all of the trials and tribulations and the difficulties, and I had some definite dark sides of my soul, dark times, difficult times, where I had to almost give up everything that I believed in because it just didn't seem possible. There's only three things you need to do. Number one, you need to come to what I would call the living knowledge. In other words, come to the path. But these things, there's many ways to reach the divine. Service to mankind, through knowledge. Okay. Also through devotional love. That's the path, the quickest in my mind, because God is love. Okay. So you need to come to that radiant living knowledge that is fresh and new. From time to time, you know,
Go to two. We
teachings
only
come
got a
up.
couple of minutes
Okay,
left.
so that comes up. Number two.
Right, go.
Number two, you need to be in the presence of the enlightened mind. This energy that surrounds such beings is like a huge magnetic field. And you need to catch a little bit of that. If you want to get heated by the fire, you come up and you put your hands by the fire. And you'll catch a little bit of that energy, and it'll begin to transform you. It's magical. It's wonderful. It's like pixie dust. So many stories in my book share how that happened to me. That's number two. And the hardest one is number three. You need to be patient. Because these forces are so powerful. We really need to culture the ability to handle these kind of energies flowing through our body. You know, there's a 440 volt or 2,000 or 20 million volts out there. You can't just walk up and grab that. But once you have the transformer created, in other words, once the energy pathways are quite clear, you can tap into that kind of force. And then what happens, and this is what we all want, wouldn't you like to be such a force for good that as you walk down the street, people would smile?
Well, hopefully everyone's smiling now because we're really going to the end of the show. It's amazing how fast it really goes. It really is. So if anybody wants any information about Jim, Santosha, the book, The Secret Journey to the Enlightened Mind, call me, Alan, 805-687-2053. 805-687-2053. Good night. We love you. Good night.